Hey, what's up YouTube? You're watching Ready Set Drone, and today I have the Insta360 One X. Now, it's been out for a while and there's a lot of reviews of it online. This isn't really a review. I just want to tell you my 6 favorite things about it and why I am enjoying it so much. So stay tuned. So as I mentioned, the Insta360 One X has been out for a while. There's some great reviews of it online, and I would definitely recommend you go check those out if you want to just kind of get the nuts and bolts and the specs and everything about it. For me, I have always been a little skeptical of 360 cameras, and the biggest reason is there's extra workflow involved in order to prepare them to go onto YouTube, depending on what you're doing with them, and the quality has not been that great. But I can honestly say, after several months with the Insta360 One X, the quality on this camera is fantastic. It is as good as a GoPro in my opinion, and there are 6 things about it that I just really like and I wanted to share with you. So the first thing I want to mention that I love about the Insta360 One X is the app. It is very easy to use and it pairs very quickly and very easily. There's a lot of things that I have to pair my phone with in order to use it, different apps, and I've seen all kinds of problems with apps not wanting to pair or not running smoothly. That's not the case at all. Now, I'm running an iPhone 10, and I definitely think it is a processor-heavy application, meaning that you're not going to probably be able to do it with a phone that's more than 2 years old or 3 years old. I think you do need a phone with a lot of processing power. Now, the app runs in iOS and in Android, but for me, the iOS app works really well. You can do some basic editing with it. You can also use the app that you can download for free on your computer to do more complex things. But it's just the ease and the simplicity of it, the reliability of the connection. As long as you're fairly close to the actual camera, I'd say within 25 or 30 feet of it, you get a smooth connection and you can do lots and lots of remote control stuff with it. So the app is definitely the first thing on my list of things that I love about the Insta360 One X. The second thing is that you don't necessarily need a cameraman. And what I mean by that is this thing is shooting in 360, as the name implies. You can actually set it up in a smart way, and in post you can follow the action if you're going between 2 different people that are talking, or if you're following one person or one thing. It's very easy to go into post and actually follow that action, which is what a camera person would do by panning and tilting and following the action with the camera. So it actually, if you're a vlogger or you're someone who's shooting by yourself a lot and you want to make sure you can get the right shot, the 360 aspect of it in some ways makes it easier because you're not just pointing in one direction, you're pointing in all directions, and afterward you go and choose what you want. So eliminating the need for a camera person is a big plus in my book. Number 3 is the stabilization. The stabilization on this thing is rock solid. Because it overshoots, you've got lots of data to play with. That's the way digital stabilization works, is it shoots more than it needs, or it shoots a certain amount and then it crops it down and uses the extra pixels to stabilize the image. That's how GoPro works with their stabilization, which is great. This thing is shooting 5K, 360 degrees, in all directions, and so it's able to electronically just keep things right in the center even as the camera shakes around and moves. You can see footage where people are jumping off of things, doing flips, doing all kinds of stuff, and the images and the video are rock solid because of the digital stabilization. The flow state is what they call it. It looks fantastic. Now, another one of my favorite things to do with any camera, I love doing this with the GoPro and also now with the Mavic 2, is the Hyperlapse. You can do hyperlapse directly in this camera, and I love the fact that you don't have to go back and stitch a bunch of photos together or put them into a timeline and export it as a video. It does all that work for you. And again, the hyperlapse is fantastic because it's super smooth. So if you're going to be riding a bike, riding a skateboard, doing anything where you're moving and you want to create a hyperlapse, it's going to come out looking very smooth, very crisp, and I love that about it. So that is my fourth thing that I really love about this camera. So number 5 is something that I just recently learned about, and it's really cool for people doing reviews and such. It's the ability to lay data on top of the video. The data is coming from your phone or tablet or whatever's running the app, because that's got your GPS built in, and that's giving you your speed, it's giving you your direction, it's giving you, in some cases, the heading like on a map. All of that stuff can be laid on top of your video. So if you're trying to figure out how far you rode, say, an electric skateboard before the battery died and how fast it'll go, top speed, etc., you can lay that data directly on top of your video from the Insta360 by pushing a button in the app, which is really cool. So the last thing on my list is just sort of the obvious purpose of this camera, and that is the fact that it looks like a floating camera. When you're carrying the selfie stick with it and you're extended out, it looks like it's floating above you, it looks like it's floating out to your side, it is smooth as it moves along. You can do dolly shots, you can do crane shots, you can do all kinds of cool stuff with it, and it really gives the appearance of a camera almost floating in air. I think that is so cool, and it's something that I plan to use in more of my videos going forward. So that's it. Like I said, I was skeptical about 360 cameras. As a matter of fact, I had the Insta360 One before this, and I viewed it as a novelty or a toy and not something that I would use all the time as a tool to actually create videos. But this one I actually plan to use and take with me on all my shoots. It's so small, it's so compact. It's got a 1/4 inch thread built into the bottom, so you can attach it to any tripod or any mount. As a matter of fact, I just discovered that it'll actually go on Lume Cube mounts, and I have a magnetic one, so I can stick it up on anything metal as a camera. I put it on the hood of my car and drove around a bit. It's a great thing to have that built into it. This to me is becoming more and more essential as a part of the toolkit that I have to make videos. I'd love to hear what your favorite things are or your least favorite things are about the Insta360 One X. Leave them in the comment below. If you like this video, I hope you'll give it a big thumbs up, and if you want to know more about drones and camera stuff and tech and all the stuff I love to cover, please subscribe to Ready Set Drone. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.